Hey guys, today's Lost Sector is K1 Comedian on the Moon. There's going to be 2 overloads and 3 barriers. We're going to play an Arc Hunter today with Shinobu's Vow. For the subclass, we're going to be using Gambler's Lodge, so when we dodge near an enemy, it will fully recharge our melee ability with Combination Blow, so when we get melee kills, it will stack our melee damage up to 3 times, with Skip Grenades because our Shinobu's Vow exotic enhances them. For the aspects, we're going to be using Flow State. Defeating a jolted target makes us amplified, and Lethal Current. After dodging, it will make our next melee jolt targets, and it will also allow us to stun unstoppables that are jolted with our melee. For the first fragment, we're going to have Spark of Resistance. While surrounded by combatants, we take less damage. Spark of Feedback, taking melee damage briefly increases outgoing melee damage. Spark of Ions, defeating jolted targets creates an ionic trace. And Spark of Shock, your arc grenades jolt targets. For the weapons, we're going to be using an auto rifle for the barriers, Salvager Salvo so we can get our grenades back a little bit quicker, and Leviathan's Breath for champion damage as well as boss damage. On the artifact, we're going to have Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle with Elemental Orbs Arc, Elemental Fury so that the champions take extra damage from our abilities, as well as Elemental Orb damage. And Refreshing Pickups, picking up a Tangle or Elemental Orb grants your least powered ability a little bit of extra energy. Elemental Munitions, so when we get a kill with our Elemental Orb, it has a chance to drop special or heavy ammo. Moving on to the mods, starting off with the helmet, we're going to have an Ashes to Assets, so when we get grenade kills, it will give us increased super energy. 2 Harmonic Siphons, so that our Salvager Salvo can create orbs. For the gloves, we're going to have a grenade kickstart, so when we throw a grenade, it will give us a little bit of our energy back, as well as a firepower, so that our grenade kills generate orbs with a fastball. On the chest plate, we're going to have 2 arc resistance mods and a solar resistance mod. The boots are going to have an elemental charge, so when we pick up an ionic trace, it will give us armor charge, as well as a recuperation, so we get 70 HP when we pick up an orb, and better already to make this build a little bit safer. On the cloak, we're going to have a powerful attraction mod to pick up all the orbs in the area when we dodge. Starting off with the Lost Sector, we are going to have a barrier here in this first room. To get the barrier to spawn, we are going to need to kill almost everything in this room. This first room, our goal is going to be to get our Combination Blow to ×3, so that we can one-shot melee just about everything in this Lost Sector. Once the barrier spawns, we're just going to use Leviathan's Breath to kill it. Now that the barrier is dead, the doorway is opened. We can move to the next room. There will be another barrier in this room as well. This one will also spawn once we've killed most of the enemies in the room. For the second barrier, we're just going to use a mixture of Leviathan's Breath and grenades and melees. Just using whatever we have in our arsenal. Once we kill the rest of the enemies in this room, the doorway will open and we can go take on the overloads. I find that the easiest way to stun the overloads is to use a Lethal Current melee on them, and then we're going to use Leviathan's Breath to kill it. Here in the boss room, there will be one more overload that we need to take care of. Once again, we're going to use our Lethal Current melee as well as our grenades to take him out. Once we defeat this overload, all we need to do is take out a whole bunch of vandals and dregs, and then a heavy shank will spawn in. Once this heavy shank is defeated, the boss will spawn. The game plan with the boss is just to try to jolt him and stun lock him in the doorway to deal some damage, as well as throw our super at him. The super will deal about half of his HP, and we'll have to do the rest with Leviathan's Breath, but we have 15 shots left over, so we should have no problem taking him out. As long as we don't spawn the third barrier, we don't have to kill it, and we will still get platinum. Once you kill the boss, you can loot the chest. Happy farming today.